said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out, Miller, look out.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Track left now. Set up for hard braking. Help keep straight patience on turn. Get track left. Track out left side again. Get out inside right. You have more important things to worry about than your underwear.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today.
So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom, and I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and is getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
Welcome back, Barber Motorsports Park. Ralph Shaheen now sitting alongside Ford Martin. Okay, buddy, here we go. We have a little qualifying session here. TA2 Cube 3 Architecture cars.
.55 local, and about to come back around here for qualifying.
Chris Dyson winning that TA pole, his 5th of the year.
So TA2 making their first qualifying session come out here on racetrack. Tristan McKee making his way back around, has an opportunity to clinch the championship this weekend. We'll see how that goes. It's up to 5 bonus points in qualifying, so we'll see how that'll set him up for the race tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, so let's go through that a little bit. We were both in on that meeting. There's qualifying points, there's points for laps led, and then the overall race points, and depending on how everybody else does. I think the grand total, I heard Jessica Trippi from public relations side of Trans Am say it's 106. Is that right, this weekend?
Yeah, up to 106. So it really, as of right now, if McKee doesn't get any extra bonus points, he has to finish a minimum of 8th in the race tomorrow. But that also, as we talked about, that can fluctuate based on how many bonus points he gets here in qualifying and then tomorrow's race.
And some of those points, the overall points, are based on how many cars are entered in the event, too.
That's correct, yeah. So as of right now, as things stand, 8th, but we'll see how it goes here during qualifying. You see McKee right there on the racetrack making his way up underneath the bridge, and that Chevrolet for Spire had that problem that he had in that qualifying session, or excuse me, that the VIR race, that transmission issue, a very rare situation that happened for McKee.
Just a crazy moment. One of those things that none of us would have expected. They certainly didn't.
This is a really challenging racetrack. Talking to some of the guys here today, and even jumped on iRacing myself a little bit with Jake Bowman, who's making his TA2 debut this weekend for Silver Hair Racing. And we talked about how there's a lot of blinding corners in this racetrack, especially downhill into the hairpin. And you got to be really hard on the brakes. So a lot of these guys just figuring out this racetrack right here. Let's take a look at what Tristan McKee is going to run for his first lap.
125.5. Time to shoot for right now. Inside of 11.5 minutes to go in this session. Fostovsky's already been out on the track. Oh, one off into the ground full here.
And they were just talking about Jake Bowman right there.
And those gravel traps once you get out there like Jake is, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
Yeah, it's right there in the hairpin, down into
Just
5.
in front of Charlotte.
So we've got to see what that is going to do for Akasha if they're going to go and retrieve him right there. But
I would think you're going to have to.
It's going to be hard to get out of that
zone, right? I mean, he's not driving out. He's definitely not driving out.
If he's not going to get out, that's going to be a long 10 minutes and 45 seconds. But stuck right there going downhill. He did checking him out early in practice today. Got hard. Locked up the brakes, locked up the tires there. Didn't go off track, and there it is. There's a caution flag, so they're going to wait this here with just under 10 and a half minutes to go in the session.
That is a tough break for everybody. But you had to get rid of it, get it out of there.
Race control is probably letting some of these guys that were on their hot lap just to give them an opportunity to get back to the line. But definitely not getting out of that one, so they'll go and retrieve him with 10 minutes to go. Jake might be able to get a few laps in right here based on how quick they're able to get him out. But as of right now, McKee at the top of the board.
That could be a huge break for Adrian Vostovsky to have run earlier today. He was out here with Trans Am. He's running both.
Yeah, run the doubleheader
races.
this weekend.
He's doing the doubleheader, so he got laps in. I'm trying to remember, is it SGT that he's in, or he's in SGT in the Howe car.
Yeah, he's running that number 9 Howe Racing HR6 for the GT class debut. So
in GT.
Yeah.
So he got a bunch of laps with that car already, and then getting in here. Now tomorrow he's going to have 2 hours and 50 minutes in between.
It's a busy
races.
day tomorrow.
It's a busy day.
Trying to see how the weather goes tomorrow. They're expecting some rain showers in the morning. So by the time the TA2 race, it's supposed to be moved out. The track at least should be dry with the TA drivers on the track starting that in the morning. So, but see if you're going to get stuck in right here for Jake Bowman, stuck in the gravel trap. They're trying to get him out here still. You see it right there on your screen to go and retrieve him. Try and lock him up and get him out. But as of right now, 8:46 to go. It'll be tight to see if Jake could maybe get a lap in right here. They're starting to hook him up and pull him away.
So let's try to put a exclamation point on Tristan McKee. You've been around this game a long time with your dad, famed Gil Martin, who's crew chief for everybody just about. You've seen a lot of young guys come along. Some end up living up to the billing, some don't. How do you think Tristan McKee is living up to all the hype that's been around that kid this year?
Well, my dad was crew chief in Clint Boyer when he came to Richard Childress Racing. I mean, coming over from Emporia, Kansas, and back then, at least in 2005, that was a very young kid at the time when some of these kids were coming up. And he's right there, and almost, I think he's around 23 years old coming up. Really not much, for a little old if you look at it nowadays, but. As you see now, Tristan McKee, look how young he is right now.
Yeah, he's
15
beginning
years
of this
old.
year, he was 14 when he won his first race at Mid-Ohio. 14.
And just shows just how and we touched on it in the VR races, the development program that some of these, Chevrolet and seeing tracking all some of that pebbles there on the racetrack. That's going to be tough right there. We might have to sweep those away.
But Tristan McKee, because he's got a 125.5 in his back pocket already.
Trying to shake that out. Unless he flat spotted it too bad, maybe Bowman's able to keep it back on the racetrack and at least do a lap so that he's not in the rear, so he at least can get some laps in. He's right there following his teammate Noah Harmon on that racetrack. But going back to McKee, it just shows really just what he's been able just to show this season. Outside of that VIR race, he was on a 6-race streak on the podium. And it shows how exceptional he's been right here. His green flag is back out. Yep. Caution flag no more. Back on the way for qualifying.
Green is out. We're going with 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go. So they got a little more time out of it than I thought they were going to get.
And they got him out pretty quick, so it wasn't too long. Just got to be careful about those pebbles that Bowman brought back on the racetrack.
Yeah. It's a good look at Annunziata.
Yeah, good to have him back. Last race, that Watkins Glen race, we had that issue.
It's not like he's taken a lot of time off. He's been a busy guy all summer.
Yeah, he has. He's been running just about everything. You can see he's been running a couple races in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, unable to make that race for the Roval, which is super unfortunate. See, the first time going through the pebbles right here. We'll see how he's able to operate. It looks clean to me, at least for right now, but that car probably can't be too happy about it.
I'm sure it was noisy when he went through there, then getting kicked up underneath that car, right? But he could certainly be a player tomorrow.
And he's had so much experience in these race cars. Just what he's been able just to bring to the table here with Nitro and the relationship that he's had. Switching numbers this time, has all season run that 90 GR Toyota. Now running the 10 Mobil 1 Toyota right now for Nitro Motorsports.
Those Nitro guys are going to give you a good ride no matter what the car number is, right?
That's right. I see it interesting right there to really use the curbing too much. It's been a split in this field here today. Some of these guys really like using that curbing. Seeing a guy like Sam Corey, he's really relied on that curbing here, at least during the practice sessions this morning and yesterday. Tristan McKee, he's used a little bit of the curbing. A guy like Noah Harmon really hasn't utilized that. Witowski, he hasn't utilized the curbing. So a split field on what they like to do, but this is the first time a lot of these guys have been here. So they're still trying to kick the kinks out, try to figure out this track. Let's go on board with Adrian right here as he heads his way into the hairpin.
And Ziad across the line, he'll stay in third, that 126-157. Corey Day behind that. Sam Corey, DaCosta, Harmon, Buffamonte. He's back in eighth as he puts another lap in. Bowman out of the gravel and up to 10th. Kicks Boris Said back. You talk about, as we watch Adrian Vostovsky, those curbs right there. You can see Adrian really using them up. Some guys here, don't just go, you get to a lot of tracks where there's big curbing. Guys will put a wheel or two up on it. Here, you're going up and over it. I mean, you really swallow up the entire curbing underneath the car.
And you see it right here. Adrian still trying to utilize that right here. And this is a track where you got to be really patient. So a lot of these guys like to use that curbing just to help settle the car down. Some of them like how it helps them rotate. Noah Harmon, he didn't really like it because it helped his car to seem a little out of control. Jake Bowman today, he's the guy that said he liked using the curbing just because it has really helped settle the car down a lot.
Well, it's 6, 7, and 8 going over the curbing actually just straightens the line out from 6 down to 8.
Great shot of our crew right here, right there by the museum.
That's Vostovsky there.
Excuse me, going to the hairpin.
McKee still on top of the board, 125.323. And Nunziata jumps to second with a 125.7. Adrian slips back to third with that 126.066. There's a new paint scheme that you know a lot about.
Yeah, Noah Harmon run that Cure Bowl Chevrolet for Silver Hair Race, a special weekend for him. Got Shari Johnson on the doors on the board for the Cure Bowl. Right there, Noah Harmon, who ran second in the Miata race, in the MX-5 earlier this season when he came here for Barber. Second in that race, trying to put on a good lap. He's fifth as of right now, so able to pass jump Corey Day. And
he had no idea this was coming. Paint scheme unveiled, and surprised was Noah Harmon yesterday morning. You can see he's really getting up and over the first set of the curbs there.
And he was really surprised by what the team is able to put together. It was great work by everybody at the Cure Bowl, Street Side Classics, and Cube 3, obviously, with Nick Middleton. And they partnered with it great. And it's just good. It's good to see. You got the Cube 3 right there on the hood with the pink on it. Nick Middleton was really excited about it. And you're looking at a guy who hasn't missed very many races in this TA2 series, so he was really excited about that in October, and it's a special place to many people for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, and this is a big month for that, obviously, and you see pink on a lot of different things in all the major sports leagues going on. But I got to tell you, this car looks fantastic in person. There's Day right there, who's been busy racing sprint cars and a bunch of other things. There's Noah once again. And it just really, the pink really tied in well. I love the pink on the window netting. Just really all came together. Looks very, very sharp.
It was done by Kevin Wright with Silver Hair Racing, able to throw in an idea and having that window net. We see a lot in the NASCAR. We saw it at the Roval where through the Eric Jones Foundation, I believe, where they take a lot of those window nets and they're able to auction those off and to raise awareness. So That was great to see, obviously, having that window net right there.
Oh,
and get some
problems
smoke
here
coming
for
out.
the 26 car. That's Casera. And we are down inside of a minute coming up here left in this session. McKee still on top of the board with a 125.323.
About a minute to go. DaCosta and Harmon, they know each other pretty well. They're teammates in the Miata Series, made some contact. And that MX-5 race, Noah Harmon, looks like DaCosta, they rolled DaCosta getting a little loose on the curbing at Road Atlanta, and Harmon got in the back of him. They made contact and ended up spinning with their, like I said, their teammates. So definitely some interesting conversations had to happen around that. But right now, DaCosta on top of Noah, 4th and 5th right there, respectively.
Bunch of guys heading to pit lane already. Here's Casera. Back in 14th in that HP Tuners entry.
Going to get a couple more laps in right here. Jake Bowman coming across us right here on the front stretch. Some of these guys pulling down pit road.
Yep, their session's over. McKee back there, he's happy with a 125.3. Nunziata's on pit road too, so
It's McKee
I think
right
the
there,
top two
Nunziata.
spots should be pretty much safe.
McKee and Nunziata, look at on their own zip code. It just seems just about right there at the front too.
Checker flag is out. The session is over.
A couple of these guys finishing their laps here. Tyler Casera right there, great shot from the top of this track. And really this is one of these road courses where you might be able to see it just from the left of the driver right there. These fans through the wooden areas, they have a great view of this racetrack. And it kind of reminds me a little bit as far as the viewing experience, like the Roval. You can almost see the entire road course right here along the back stretch. You can just about see 70% of the racetrack right there from the back stretch. So it's a great fan experience to come out here and watch these race cars.
Yeah, the track winds back and forth quite a bit. Vostovsky on pit lane. Everybody finishing up their laps. There's Harmon, Sed, Annunziata, DaCosta, all on pit lane.
Bowman,
Here's
a couple
a look
guys.
at your results right there. McKee will be on the pole. Annunziata. So the first step for Tristan is done. Grab a bonus point, take the pole.
Yep, so that's a big one right there. So it's 5 bonus points for Tristan McKee. That will play a lot into trying to clinch the championship this weekend. And again, Ralph, you talked a little bit about it, just how important just the driver development program is, but then also just how he's progressed through this season and really dominated. I mean, he talked a little about coming in the weekend. This track reminds him a lot of Mid-Ohio. And what did he do at Mid-Ohio? He won that race and dominated, outlasting Rafa Matos in that one. So I think the field got to be a little scary about Tristan McKee, considering how he dominated that race and coming to a track that's a little bit similar, according to him, in Mid-Ohio.
All right, so our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series wrapping up qualifying here at Barber Motorsports Park. Good look at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. And some of the coolness inside there. How about a 53 Corvette, Ford? I know you're named Ford, but you got to like the Corvette.
Well, my dad he's been racing a long time. He's been a part of the Bowtie family, but it just really speaks to just this facility and just really how beautiful it is when you go around, from the sculptures that you see around, the spider there and Turn 5 and the hairpin. There is a lot to like, really, about this facility, and I got to find my way to get over to the museum, but it looks amazing.
You need to leave the booth right now.
I know I need to.
Go over there.
I don't know if Andy Lally will be okay with me leaving the middle of qualifying, but
walk right
I would
by
love
him.
to.
Just walk right by him. He won't even. He's so busy dealing with everything,
Yes,
he won't
he
even
is.
notice you're gone.
Yes, he is.
All right, we're going to go away, too. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back to Barber.
and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Back at Barber Motorsports Park. I don't want to say Group 2, but the second half of our group. How's that, Ford?
Second half of the group coming back out right here, and Jared Audrick, who's leading the championship standings right now in the Pro-Am Series. And that 00 black underwear Kubox Chevrolet. Just under 13 minutes to go right now. McKee on the top of the board, at least leading that first session, that first group that went out.
Quite a bit of cloud cover now all of a sudden. We had cloud cover this morning when we first got here. Then the sun popped up. You know, that's up and over the building at this point, and then the clouds are back.
Yeah, and the wind's starting to pick up here. Let's see the flags that are around here. The wind's starting to pick up just a little bit down pit road.
Yeah, they're snapping pretty good on pit lane here.
I know a lot of the crew guys are appreciative of that, especially with it being as sunny as it was yesterday, and expecting it to be a little cool here tomorrow. It's supposed to drop down a few degrees, that is, for tomorrow. So calling for rain, supposed to stop around 10 a.m. local time. So that should be enough where, at least with the TA2 cars, take the track should at least by then be dry. It's supposed to be sunny the rest of the day with the sun coming out, and obviously the TA cars that morning having their race. So the track and everything should be okay by then, but perfect weather here so far that it's been, and a couple clouds coming in, but still bright and sunny. Trying to be a great weekend here at Barber Motorsports Park in the debut for the TA2 Series. Tristan McKee right there at that 125.3. Leading the pack right now for TA2 qualifying. And number 9 right there with a 128.4 right now, leading the pack for the Pro-Am division right there at Phillips there in 15th.
Prochek showing the way around right now with a 128.404. Phillips, Odrick, Sheehan.
Now during our break, they did go out there and blow just a little bit of those pebbles off the track where Jake Bowman locked it up right there going down the hill. Right there, that little 2 marker is, and
right there
they didn't get too much of it. They made one little pass through, but still there a little bit. It's out of the groove, so that part is okay. And Bowman did say that driver's right going down the back, so shouldn't affect it too much.
Yeah, they pushed him out wide, which is helpful. It's Griffin in the 67.
Griffin coming
Scheibel
from
in the 14.
Yeah, Griffin right there in that from Howe in the Hills, Florida. And that Concrete Construction Chevrolet. And yes, that is Rural City. Had to double check and try to figure out where that city was at. Population of about 1,600 people. Reflects the location of the town and the area of the Rolling Hills. He's right there with Matt Gray. And not too far behind right there in Brian Schiebel, who's making his second start of the season. Ran Canada, finished 8th. Good to see him back.
We're going to swap things going into 1.
And this is really a tough track to pass. And especially during qualifying, it's really going to be challenging. You know, we talked to some of the guys, like I'm good friends with Jake Bowman, and just talking to him a little bit about just how practice went, and he really talked about it. It is his TA2 debut, but just the challenges of trying to set up your pass and make these passes right here. Not a lot of passing zones in this track, so you got to really set it up right there. That's one of the biggest ones on the racetrack in the hairpin, and setting these guys up on exit. So really important. But if you're to pass someone in qualifying, it's really gonna hurt you there, at least as far as getting quick time.
One of the things that's going to be a challenge in the race tomorrow is if these guys get aggressive, which in TA2 they're going to get aggressive,
I think the season spoke for that,
that's pretty much standard operating procedure. But you mix in the potential for weather in a wet racetrack and the aggressive nature of the category on a tight facility with not a lot of opportunities to pass. Guy sees a little gap open, he's going right now. He's going to get in there. That could cause chaos here because it's going to be pretty easy to get multiple yellows.
Well, you look at a track they went to earlier this season, Lime Rock. That's a track really that doesn't have as many passing zones at that racetrack facility. And they raced in the rain. We saw how wild that one, being the dry to wet, the dry to wet.
Sam Corey
and I got to say, we saw how Sebring went, multiple cautions. Those guys at Lime Rock, they actually handled the wet weather pretty impressively, I thought, especially how that weekend went. Going downhill right here, a lot of blinding corners here, and you really got to be patient with the race car right here. And it's easy on the throttle not to use your tires up too much, and it's just really important right there just to be very patient, get in a rhythm.
Yeah, I want to make sure. I'm not concerned about the wet weather so much. These guys, as you pointed out, are all very competent wet weather drivers. The Pirelli rain tires, very good. I'm thinking more about the aggressive nature of the series on a tighter racetrack. These guys are going to get pretty aggressive. There's not a lot of room to squeeze.
There really isn't, no.
You're certainly not going too wide for long, maybe only on the front straightaway. You're most definitely not going 3 wide.
Yeah, agreed. And especially right there, that's one of the toughest parts right there. Going downhill, the quick little S, down right there, the hard right by the museum. That's going to be a tricky one, that if weather is involved or if it's not involved, the aggressive nature, as you were talking about, of the series and just how tight this racetrack is, it's gonna be challenging for these guys.
I could see on the first lap tomorrow, going down into the hairpin down here, handful of guys looking to make something happen early, and we might end up with half a dozen cars off in the beach over there.
Well, Ralph, we were talking a little about the VIR race, and we thought, hey, it's the first lap, first corners. Race control told the top 4 drivers not do anything crazy, and what did Ben Mayer do? 3 wide, down to turn 1, took the lead. He was aggressive, and he held the lead for a long time in that race, so I wouldn't surprise me if we saw a little dive bomb down there and then turn 5 in the hairpin.
Somebody's going to try it, right? Just a matter of who and are they successful. Inside of 6 minutes to go here. Session going by quickly. Prochuk, Odrick, Phillips. Not much has changed there. Sheehan has dropped back some. Tom slipping back to 17th behind Phillips. 4th in category.
Goddard right there, as we talked about, jumping at the P12, leading the Pro-Am, at least for now.
Oh, Jared moves up to number 1, doesn't he? Yeah.
And just moved up right there, just updated. So the former Nitty Lion leading the championship standings against Keith Prochuk. 6 points, both drivers with 3 wins. So they have. There's no opportunity for any of these guys to clinch this afternoon for the Pro-Am series, but it's going to come right down to Coda here in a couple weeks.
Jared right there.
Under 5 minutes to go. Great shot right here by our team on our drone coverage.
You said he went to Penn State, right?
That's correct, yeah.
We might have to talk to him about that job opening up there.
You know, I asked him today. I said, all right, James Franklin is gone. What's your thoughts? And he understood the business side of things, but obviously Franklin brought a lot to the program. But it was definitely a tough situation how he was talking about early on. But I don't know. I mean, he's had a successful career, and when it comes to sports, obviously he's been very successful here in the Pro-Am. But I don't know, maybe he has to throw his hand in the bucket there, and maybe he might have a chance at the head coaching position there.
Yeah, well, racing in TA2 and maybe winning the Pro-Am category is a good deal, but Franklin, from what I saw, walked away with a $56 million
Yes, that's
buyout.
right.
That's a little bit better deal.
It's tough to beat. It's tough to beat that deal right now. So James Franklin's in good shape. We'll see what they end up doing as far as Penn State going forward. But right now, Jared Audrick here making his way around this track over there in the hairpin, having a good season he's had so far.
I don't know how crazy they are in their coaching search, but I'm available if they're interested.
Well, the biggest thing after losing Drew Aller to start the season for Penn State, obviously that was tough, and that played a role in the disappointing season that they had here for the Nittany Lions. So, but we got a big college football game down the road here later tonight.
Whichever direction you go, there's a big college football game around here today. Talked about Alabama, Tennessee. You got Auburn and Missouri, and you got Memphis and University of Alabama, Birmingham. All going on today at different times of the day.
I want to mention there, Audrick moves up one spot, jumps Caton there, up to P11, the 127.4.
Inside of 3 minutes to go, so maybe another lap or two. Although I think Jared could probably, well, he's not that comfortable just yet. Brochuk's still pretty quick. But it looks like Jared is headed to pit lane, isn't he?
Yeah, heading down to pit road, so that's going to be it for him. But fans that are still listening, that are along our back stretch potentially, got a driver's autograph session coming up here later this afternoon. A couple of opportunities where some of the fans come over, meet some of the TA2 drivers. Big chance for that. So great to see the Trans Am Series is putting that on. Matt Griffin there. Once again, Matt Gray. They haven't split too far from each other here, Ralph. They've been each other all qualifying session.
Okay, you roamed the garage area for years as a kid. Best driver autograph you got?
I mean, that's tough to say, but I probably have to go with, just because it was iconic, it was Harvick's probably autograph, because I know my dad crew chief Harvick for a long time, and I know it sounds a little biased, but just because he did give me my first go-kart when I was 5 years old, but just the fact of just the way his autograph was, and he signed my go-kart, and I just thought that was just so awesome. So I got to go with that.
Still have that card?
No, unfortunately, I do not now. But the bumper where he signed it, I still have that. But as far as the go-kart itself, it was not. Turned out to be not a very good go-kart driver, but decided to do some other things.
You never got the King while you were there?
No, never did.
How'd you miss that? Gotta have the King's autograph on something.
I know that's
an experience getting an autograph from the King.
Yeah,
it takes 10 minutes, you know.
I know you're exactly right.
You're going to be there
I'm
for
going to
a bit.
myself on that. It's about a minute to go here, closing things up here for qualifying. Look at the shot of the Spider.
Yeah, Charlotte's done.
And it's tough to see it right there at that angle, but right there to the right side of your screen, have the web out there as well.
Charlotte's
so great
web.
detail. Yeah, it's awesome.
Her name is Charlotte. She's got to have a web.
Just the details of this place.
It's incredible.
And I've really been learning just really on the go and just trying to figure out these names here, which obviously now learned with the Charlotte's Web here now. So trying to get the lady in the lake that you have when you come in the racetrack.
I don't know her name.
Shot of her museum right there. Great shot.
Well, the session's going checker here in 2 seconds, literally.
I believe right now the only car right there on the racetrack is that 64 of Matt Gray, so this should end things pretty quickly.
Yeah, Matt's just going to take the checker, go around one more time. And that'll wrap up the session. So Jared will be quickest in this grouping. Prochuk second, Phillips third, Tom Sheehan right there's the 550 Spider, the Porsche Spider. Of course, you know the song, the James Dean.
Yeah, I never seen that one yet.
Long Spider
right?
picked up a rider. That's right at
That's right at the top of the hill, yeah.
As you're
Okay,
coming
yeah.
into the paddock. Yeah, it's tucked off into the bushes there. I mean, folks, we've been talking about it all day. You just have to come here to see it to understand. There's a big horse, multicolored horse up on the hill over here. I don't know if you saw that. There's dragonflies down on the rocks coming out of the bottom down there. Ants on the Coca-Cola sign. Or other, not ants, but other spiders. There are ants around here somewhere too.
And Andy Lally said in the drivers' meeting they were talking about earlier that someone actually, I'm not sure if it was somebody on one of the teams, called it in. The two kids.
The pit entrance.
They called it in. Yeah, the pit entrance, and they called it in.
Oh, yeah.
And we were told that in the drivers' meeting this morning, and
we showed them earlier. I mean, they're super realistic. There's the spiders on the Coca-Cola sign. See them?
Yep.
I mean, there's a big cow because, of course, Mr. Barber, the family was in the dairy business. There's the spiders there.
So that's going to be the third pole for Tristan McKee on the season.
Yeah, third pole for Tristan. And we will be back for more from Barber. Oh, yeah, there's that guy.
Beautiful facility.
That's another stunning piece up on top of another waterfall as you're coming in. All right, there's the lady in the pond. Not sure what her name is, but another interesting piece here. Okay, we'll be right back.
Yes. Hon, the weather tech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.